Welcome to the Basic Bee podcast, a show for the wannabe SEO savvy service providers among us, for the coaches and consultants who dream of becoming known for their storytelling skills, not to mention the solopreneurs who straight up need to master all things social proof to increase sales. After a little reluctantly fully committing to this online world of business, I quickly realized I needed to get people to come to me. I needed to tell them I was here and how I could support them. I dove headfirst into social proof, which led me to SEO, which led me to storytelling. And now it gives me great joy to share what I've learned with other business owners so they skip the hard stuff and ease straight into sales. This podcast gives you expert insights, actionable takeaways, and casual convos with some of the online world's best and brightest experts and strategists. I think that's enough of an intro, so here we go. Welcome back to the short-n-sassy segment of the Basic Bee podcast. These episodes will be 10 minutes or less, super actionable, and they're going to be about a variety of topics. Today, I am sharing about SEO for button copy and CTAs, also known as calls to action. So what do we actually want people to do? Let me start by sharing with you what button SEO even is. I'm actually talking about having a keyword strategy and SEO strategy for the words that you put on those buttons and where we're sending people, as well as even just the calls to action, the overarching call to action for that web page. We want the right people taking an action to work with you, to get into your world, to learn more from you, to get to know you better. So whether that is signing up for your email list, going and becoming a follower of your podcast, or even buying a digital product or signing up to work with you, filling out an inquiry form, for example, we want the right people to even get to your page, which is one reason why having an SEO strategy, even for buttons and calls to action, is really helpful, because it's another opportunity where you can put the keywords and where search engines like Google will pick it up and realize, oh, this is what this person does. This is what they're all about. This person is looking for that. Let me put this web page in front of this person. So it's all very strategic. It's all very intentional and thoughtful, and even buttons matter. And the whole reason this topic even came to mind is because I'm working on a project right now where I'm writing web copy for a company. And I've written 8 out of the 9 pages. And something that keeps coming up is button copy, calls to action. Where are we sending them from this page? So I was drafting all of these pages, thinking through all this copy, combining all the SEO research and all these things. I'm like, I really need to share this with other people, because other people like you might not have worked with a copywriter before, might not have worked with an SEO copywriter before, or an SEO agency or something like that. I really just wanted to spend some time sharing with you how you can improve the button copy on your existing website, or maybe you're currently rewriting your website, or you have a service provider who's helping you with this right now. You can just kind of start to be thoughtful about it. There's a 3-step process that I want to walk you through for improving SEO for button copy and for calls to action. We're going to start with something that might seem overwhelming, might seem obvious, but it's critical to the rest of the process. So we want to figure out what the point of that page is. What is the goal of this page? Are we sending people to a podcast? Are we asking them to join an email list? Are we inviting them to go read another blog post? Are we, sharing a digital product with them or a service? What is that thing, and what action do we want them to take? So what is the goal of the page? What's happening on this page? Let's take a blog post, for example. Let's say I want to write an entire blog post about how to hire an SEO copywriter. I'm going to have the whole point of that page be all about how and when and why someone would want to hire an SEO copywriter. The next step I want them to take is to hire me as their SEO copywriter. Think through that journey of what are you sharing on that blog post, on that web page, and then where do you want them to go next? A good rule of thumb is to really just keep it simple and have one call to action. So we've identified the goal of the page. We've identified where we want to send them next. Now we want to include keywords in the button copy in that call to action. And I will make sure that I have a 5-minute keyword research tutorial on YouTube. So I will make sure that I link that in the description. Whether you are listening to this or watching this, I'll make sure you can get that. But it starts with figure out the point of the page, figure out where we want to send them next, And then we want to be really thoughtful about the keywords that we want to use. So you would do keyword research. You might have a keyword list already that you or a service provider has created for you, and you can figure out what keywords to include in the button copy. Let's say I've got that blog post about how to hire an SEO copywriter, and I want them to then be excited about and be interested in hiring me as their SEO copywriter. For me, in my process, I would send them to my contact page where I have an inquiry form. So I would want to say things like, hire Brittany as your SEO copywriter, because then or contact Brittany to become your SEO copywriter. That's the kind of thing you want to include. Keywords that would make sense for where you want to send that person. If I want to write a blog post about the Basic Bee podcast, I would say, tune into the Basic Bee podcast, and then people would go and listen or watch the episodes from there. So I really want to use the keywords that make sense for the destination, that make sense for that call to action. Where are we sending them? What do we want them to do next? Those are the keywords that we want to use, not learn how to hire an SEO copywriter, because that would bring them to the blog that they're already reading. Hopefully that makes sense. We don't want to use the keywords that line up with where they already are. We want to use keywords that line up with where we want them to go. What is that next page? What is that next step? Where are they going from this blog post or from this web page? Let me walk you through some examples of SEO copy for buttons and calls to action. Instead of saying things like learn more, click here, or even about us, I would invite you to swap that for something like, I want to get found online. That is get found online is a big keyword for SEO copywriting, for content marketing, for SEO strategy. I might also say something like, give me SEO help. SEO help is another keyword that is highly searched. Or we could say, build a dreamy coaching business. If I am a business coach, I could send them somewhere that makes sense. I could send them to an inquiry form. I could send them to learn more about the program that I have. Show me the B2B marketing services. If I'm on a homepage and I want to learn more about these, B2B marketing services, and I'm going to go to the services page, this makes sense. This was one that I actually pulled from the draft of the web copy I'm writing for my client. Instead of just saying about us, meet the content marketing team. Instead of meet the team, we add in content marketing. That is the keyword there. So how can you take some keywords and weave it into what you already have, or include it in copy that you're currently writing, or maybe you want to go and revamp all of your buttons on your main website pages, or you're writing a blog and you want to be really thoughtful about what you're including. Just think through how you can incorporate some keywords. It does not need to be complicated. They do not need to be like super long pieces of copy, but they should include one keyword. There's a lot more like this that lives inside two different things. This is my call to action for you in case you didn't catch that subtle shift. One is the SEO basics checklist. This is my free SEO resource. It is built to be used by solopreneurs or supported CEOs. So whether you're working by yourself, you're just a copywriter like me and it's just you, or you're a copywriter like me and maybe you have a VA and a junior copywriter, this can be used for either type of business. And I'll make sure that that's linked below. And then the SEO Basic Bees newsletter is my email list. I send weekly emails. I usually send 2 emails. My goal is to email on Wednesdays and Fridays, and to have one of them be kind of like a recap email. Maybe I'm like reminding you that I had a guest interview somewhere, or I'm reminding you that I dropped a blog this week, or I'm telling you where I guest taught. That was something I mentioned in last week's email. So there's that. Plus there's also SEO tips, copywriting tips, tips to gather social proof, storytelling tips, things like that. What I would like to know now is, what would you like to learn next? Tell me what you would like to be able to do, or what you wish you knew, so that I can create content around that. And let me know how you fare with the button and the CTA SEO tips that I just shared. That was really something, wasn't it? Let that really sink in and guide you toward being the answer to even more Googled questions. Thanks so much for joining me this episode. You are the reason this show exists and that it keeps growing. Thanks to all those follows and reviews. If you know someone who could benefit from what was shared, send it to them. We don't do shy around here. If you thought of clarifying or follow-up questions while listening, you know what to do. Say hi on Instagram. Check the show notes for all the things that were mentioned, and I'll talk to you soon, friend. Okay, you get it. You know SEO is important, but no, you're not interested in learning another skill. Who has the time? But who are you supposed to trust with the task of getting SEO to work for you? Someone who won't ghost you mid project or treat you like a dum dum lollipop. Someone who actually wants to empower you and your team with all things SEO. Hi, yes, it's me, Brittany, and you are the person I created the SEO packet for. You're curious, you want to understand this thing better, but like only a little bit. You don't actually want to do the doing. This way, you get the key SEO stuff super fast and you get support throughout and beyond the project. No more letting Google gift you the wrong SEO strategy. Time to put the right words in the right places and get found online by the right people. Find all the info you need below.